Now in this video we are going to discuss percentage change. Suppose you have a certain amount of money and that amount of money is going to increase or maybe decrease by a certain amount, by a certain percentage. For instance, I have 50 rupees in my pocket and I am saying that there is an increase of 5 rupees. So the amount becomes 55. But I can also say it in a different way that I have 50 rupees in my pocket and 10% has been increased. So first of all I need to find out what is 10% of 50 and then I'll increase that amount. In the same way, when we talk about percentage can change in two ways. The percentage can either increase or the percentage can either decrease. So if I say that I have a quantity which is 60, this could be anything, this could be 60 meters, $60, 60 centimeters, 60 kg, whatever. So I am saying increase 60 by 25%. I want you to increase 60 by how many percent? By 25%. This can be done in two different ways. I am discussing the first one. Let's say method 1. When I discuss method 1, in this method, what can I do? First of all, I know what is the amount that I have to increase. I have 60 and I have to increase it by how many percent? By 25%. So I need to know which value should be added to 60. Obviously 60 and 25%, they cannot be added together. This is a quantity, this is a percentage. Quantity and percentage cannot be added together. I can add quantity with quantity, I can add percentage with percentage. I cannot add quantity with quantity. So what is the quantity given? 60. And I want to know what happens to 60 after it is increased by 25%. So first of all, I need to know what is 25% of the amount that I had. What is the amount that I had? 60. So first of all, you will have to calculate 25% of 60. What is 25% of 60? 25% of 60. First of all, you need to find out this. Up 25% means this. I have already taught you how to find out percentage of a quantity. When you find out 25%, so this is what you perform. This becomes 3, and the final answer is 50. 25% of 60 is 50. Is that okay? This is the value that has to be increased, and then I'll find out the increased value. So the increased value is now going to be the original value plus the change in the value, which is how much? 15. 60 plus 15. The new value or the increased value becomes 75. This is the first method. When I discuss the other method, or when I say there will be one more way of finding out the increased value, in that way what I am going to do, I know what was the value? 60. How much percentage is the value increasing? The value is increasing by 25%. So what does that mean? That means 60 is still there and I am only going to add 25% of 60, which was 15. 60 is how much percentage of itself? Anything is 100% of itself. So I can say 60 is actually 100% and 15 is actually how much percent? 25%. So when I had a value which was 60 and I am supposed to increase it by 25%. So what is the overall percentage of the final value? The final value is obviously going to be more than itself. That would mean the 100% value is there and that change is also there. So what is the overall percentage? The overall percentage of the value is going to be 100% plus 25%, which would be 125%. See, what did I do in the previous question, in the previous method? In the previous method, I wanted to add the quantities. I had the first quantity, but here I only had the percentage. So what did I do? I calculated the 25% of 60 and got the other quantity. When I knew the other quantity, I added the first quantity with the second one and I got 75. Like I told you, percentage can be added with percentage. 60 is 100% of itself. How much percentage of 60 has to be increased? 25%. So what is the final percentage going to be? 125%. So now what am I going to do? I am going to calculate directly 125% of 60. And what does that mean? 125 over 100 multiplied by 60. When you perform all the cancellation or multiplication, the final value is going to be same. So you can see the answer is same in both the ways. No matter whether you choose to add up the quantities or you choose to add up the percentages. On the other hand, I talk about percentage decrease. There was a certain amount and that amount is now decreasing. So for obviously decrease, you have to subtract the quantities or you have to subtract the percentages. What is the quantity that I have? 30. And how much do I have to decrease it? I have to decrease it by 10%. I am not going to subtract 10% with 30. I cannot add subtract percentages and quantities. So I have two ways. One, either I find out this is the first quantity and I find out what is the second quantity. Second quantity is 10% of 30. Once I have the second quantity, I can subtract the second quantity from the first one. This is one way. The other way is this. I know the percentage of the second quantity. How much percentage is it? 10%. What percentage of 30 is 30? This is 100%. Now, I know this is 100%. How much do I have to decrease it? 10%. If I have to decrease it, so I will again going to subtract 100% with 10%. And the final percentage is going to be 90%. So again, method 1 and method 2. First of all, 30 is the quantity. How much do I have to decrease it? 10%. So first of all, calculate 10% of 30. 10% of 30 is 10 upon 100 multiplied by 30. I can cancel these zeros. 1 multiplied by 3 becomes 3. So the change in the value is 3. Now the final value is going to be the decreased value. And how do I calculate the decreased value? Original value minus change in the value. It is going to be 27. This is one way of doing it. I had the first quantity, I calculated the second quantity and then performed the subtraction. On the other hand, what can I do? I can find out the overall percentage of the final value. How much change is there? 10% change is there. What is the original percentage? Original percentage is always going to be 100%. Do I have to increase or do I have to decrease? In case I have to increase, I'll add 10% with 100%. And if I have to decrease, I'll subtract 10% from 100%. So now you know what have I asked you to do? I have asked you to decrease the value. So you are going to find out what is the overall percentage. Overall percentage is 100. Let me write it here. Overall percentage is 100% minus 10%. So the overall percentage, a percentage of the overall value is going to be 90%. So I have to find out 90% of the original value, which is 30. And how am I going to do it? 90% of 30, which means 90 upon 100 multiplied by 30. these zeros will get cancelled with each other. 9 multiplied by 14 becomes 27 again. So you see, no matter how no matter which method you use to increase or decrease the value, they both work. The only thing is this: you need to realize or you need to understand that both the methods work and both the methods are very important. In different situations, we need to use these different methods. I wanted to ask you one more thing about this percentage change thing, but obviously this is going to be very messy here. So in the next video, I will be discussing about that thing. I hope you now recall or remember how to increase or decrease the quantity by a given percentage. Okay? In the next video, we will be discussing one more topic of your previous year's learnings, and then we will head to the topic that we are supposed to do currently in this year. Okay? Thank you so much. I hope you have learned all these things that I have discussed up till now. If there is anything that is unclear, do let me know in the comments of our classroom, Google Classroom, or maybe here in the YouTube videos. Thank you so much. I'll try to respond to those comments as soon as I can.